Hello again everyone, and welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host Derailious, and today we're going to be talking about some connection issues faced by a lot of players when attempting to join Hypixel. Before we get into this, I just want to say, we are getting very close to 70k, so if you could leave a like on the video down below and subscribe, that really would mean a ton. Without any further ado though, let's launch right into this. So the fundamental issue at play here is a connection-based issue for people attempting to join from European or Asian countries or pretty much anywhere else in the world. And this issue, you may notice, has been around for a while. I made a video about a year ago now talking about the same general problem. And the reason that this problem persists is not laziness or incompetence on Hypixel's end, but rather that solving an issue like this, especially in Minecraft, is incredibly difficult. How normal games tend to solve these issues is by creating separate servers in different areas of the world. You would connect to either a US server, or a European one, or an Asian one depending on where you are. This would mean that you're not able to play with literally everyone around the world, but you are able to play with people of your local area, and there is generally way fewer connection problems in that regard. However, something like that in Minecraft is a lot less possible due to the lack of transfer packets, which for a TLDR basically means that you can't transfer people between servers super easily without actually changing out a lot of the game's code in a new version of Minecraft, because in the old versions, there literally is no such thing as transfer packets. Basically, you're not able to create something like an EU server and connect people automatically to it, depending on where they joined from. This is fixed in the newest version of Minecraft, or at least added in the newest version of Minecraft, so if the server were to update to say 1.21 or 1.20, something like this would be possible. However, since we are remaining in 1.7 for the time being, which by the way the base version of Hypixel is in 1.7, we are not able to access that feature, and therefore the issues will persist until we move. Sadly, for the vast majority of players right now, there isn't too much they can do to solve these issues. There are a few people online who will tell you certain things you could potentially do to resolve these issues temporarily, or at least make things a little bit better. And while they might produce some amount of results, I personally am not super for or against them, because A, they might be less safe in terms of a security standpoint, and B, in reality, they're not going to give you a huge boost in power like you would probably want. The best way that we can solve this issue is by continuing to push for the game to move to 1.20 and eventually 1.21. I imagine that one will happen right after the other, because I'm going to be honest, moving from 1.20 to 1.21 is way easier than moving from 1.7.10 to 1.20. And in reality, I believe that that's Hypixel's plan as well. The main reason I wanted to put together this video was to showcase the fact that it isn't some sort of maliciousness as to why you're not able to access the server as easily as American counterparts. The reason is because of a lot of complex issues, and also just the sheer distance. I do hope that Hypixel is able to update to 1.20 and 1.21 fairly soon. We have heard from the admins fairly recently that things like the foraging update are basically content complete, but are not able to be put onto the alpha network due to technical issues. Hopefully, once those issues are resolved, we do see a movement onto alpha, and eventually a main server release. That doesn't mean we're going to get something like transfer packets or different servers immediately, but it does make something like that a little bit more possible. I hope within a year's time we see these new types of servers be added to the game, and eventually these problems will be completely solved, so that everyone can play Hypixel Skyblock and suffer like we all currently do. Aside from Minecraft specific stuff, there are a few things you could potentially do to attempt to alleviate the issues related to connection. The first of which is literally moving yourself a little bit closer to your router. Wi-Fi needs to actually hit your computer from the router. It's just a different type of wave, the same way you would consider sound waves. The further the distance, the weaker the Wi-Fi. So if you're on the opposite side of your house as your router, that might be something you want to change. In terms of other things you can do, if the router needs an update or if you need to reset it, that is also a possibility. And also making sure your computer isn't just running a ton of stuff in the background that is literally yoinking all of your bandwidth. That is definitely an idea. Although those things are not, one size fits all, and they're definitely not going to completely alleviate some of these issues, hopefully at least some people in the audience are able to slightly improve the problems that they are facing. Overall, it kind of sucks that I have to make a video like this at all. The idea behind a server is to be able to connect different people, and for me to just say, yeah, there's not really an easy solution, sorry, it kind of just feels terrible. At the same time, you can only really blame Mojang for just developing the game in a fairly poor fashion. The game was very popular from its inception, especially in multiplayer mode, and the lack of something like transfer packets until literally 2024 is not good, in my opinion. At the same time, though, we can only hope that Hypixel is able to update to the newest version of Minecraft fairly quickly, which I imagine they will be able to do so as soon as they solve the technical issues with the foraging update and they get it to release. Hopefully, people will be very supportive of a move to a newer version, and will be able to get there fairly quickly. At the end of the day, though, my name's Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future, fellas. I'll see you then.